I love shield builds. There's really just no other way to say it. I love what it allows you to do in the game. I love the builds that you can create with them. And I think many of the people watching this video would probably agree. And I would actually say that a lot of the people that subscribe to this channel found out about me or have seen me because of the shield builds that I have made in the past. Now, it's not to discount any of my other builds, especially like status effect stuff, but this channel and my enjoyment of this game has in large part been due to the various shield builds that I have created over the years. And of course, this month has been focused on shields. That's pretty much what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about all the varying different ways that shields can be useful. And specifically, what I wanted to start out with was the Crusader. Now, as I've been talking about the Crusader, it's really hard to avoid talking about Hunter's Fury because I think it's just one of the best sets for Crusader shield builds. And throughout the videos that I've been releasing, I've kind of constantly been comparing them to my Hunter's Fury builds. So I don't think it would be appropriate to really end talking about the Crusader shield without talking about the current build that I use pretty much all the time. And this isn't just a YouTube video build. This isn't just something that I'm releasing just to show you how to use something or to help you understand a mechanic or just to make some bait for a video, that you guys just watch whatever, doesn't actually apply to anything you use and you're never going to touch this build, whatever. This is actually a build that I use pretty much day in, day out because I enjoy it. It works extremely well and I've been kind of, constantly improving it since I first kind of came up with the base idea for it. And of course, down the road, if I ever find a piece that's like, I want to try that with my Crusader build, this will probably be one of the first builds that I incorporated onto. Because look, as a person who mostly plays solo, even in PvP, I'm generally solo. I like to go into the DZ by myself most of the time. I like to, enter randomly into skirmish. So I don't really like to rely on other people. And most of my builds are generally cohesive and coherent for a solo style. And the truth is that this build just allows me a lot of leeway. I mean, it's fast, it's effective, it's efficient, it doesn't really have much waste on it, and it allows me to just complete control points, heroic missions, summit, any kind of farming that I really need to do, I'm probably going to be going with this build. Fast, easy, and efficient. It's pretty much just what I aspire to when I'm creating a build. When I want to get the max efficiency out of a build, I want it to move quickly, and I want it to be good. And this pretty much just embodies that. No, it's not perfect. There's still plenty of things I need to, optimize on it. But I think that just shows you the strength of the build. Even if I haven't optimized really anything on the build, it's still probably my most used build to date. Now, of course, looking at the build, 4-piece Hunter's Fury. Pretty simple, pretty obvious. My main weapon is actually going to be my Cold Relations. Some people may not like this weapon, but honestly, I can't get over it. I mean, it's just a great weapon to use. Perfectly strained, 10% crit hit damage every 0.5 seconds while you're firing. It's a good weapon, especially for a slow SMG. Of course, I've upgraded to this Scorpio shotgun because it's just great to apply status effects to the enemies when you're up close. And then, of course, my mask, obviously Hunter's Fury, gives you that damage whenever you're within 15 meters of enemies, gives you that armor on kill, very nice stats. And this one's rolled with armor, crit hit damage, and I've got a repair skill mod. My backpack, of course, is going to be Memento, weapon damage, armor, skill tier, and I've got a repair skill mod. Like I've said numerous times already, it's hard to beat the Memento in a shield build. My gloves, again, another piece of Hunter's Fury with armor and crit chance. And then, of course, we got my Sokolov chest piece with weapon damage, crit hit damage, armor regen, and critical hit damage mod with Obliterate for extra weapon damage when I get crit hits. Then my holster is going to be another piece of Hunter's Fury with skill tier and crit chance. And then my knee pads are going to be my final piece of Hunter's Fury with weapon damage and crit hit chance. Now, when I say that this build is pretty optimized, what I mean is that I've got one skill tier, by choice, and then I've got 2 repair skills by choice. So there's very little waste in terms of getting the max efficiency out of my Artificer Hive and my shield. Now, my shield's already tier 6 because of the Memento and my armor and a little bit of skill tier. And of course, this gives me 4.7 million health on my shield, which is just great for a, mostly run and gun playstyle with good amount of weapon damage. Now, generally speaking, I would say regeneration is probably not what you need on a shield. It's usually better just to go health, especially if you're using the Artificer. If you're not using the Artificer, maybe there's an argument for regen, but with an Artificer like this, there's really no need for it. The skill repair on this, because of my rolls, is 63.8%. Now, of course, that's without the Memento buff. Once you start adding in those skill efficiency stacks up to 30% skill efficiency, I think I'm getting around 6 million health on my shield, and I think around 80% repair on my hive. All of those are fantastic numbers for a weapon that can put out some good damage. And of course, like I've been showing you guys over the last week or two, if I invested into different things, I could finagle my damage to be higher. I could get more armor, or I could get more life-sustaining abilities, or more healing on my hive. There's plenty of different ways to nickel and dime a Crusader build to get what you want out of it, right? However, a lot of those builds come with significant downsides. Even the build that I just released, trying to get my Heartbreaker to be more like Hunter's Fury, still didn't really give me everything that I wanted, right? It's hard to combine everything that Hunter's Fury can do in a hybrid build in a different form. And what I mean by this is, I've got good tankiness, right? I've got a few armor rolls, but I also get that armor on kill and that health on kill, which does come in incredibly handy. But what Hunter's Fury also does is it gives me a good amount of damage. Is it the strongest buffs in the game? No, but they're pretty quick and easy to apply. And since I'm using an SMG and shotgun anyway, they're relatively close range weapons, so I'm pretty much generally trying to be in that 15-meter range to get those debuffs on the enemy for that 20% damage, right? And since I am doing a good amount of damage, I can generally quickly stack the damage stacks from Hunter's Fury. So, that 10 seconds that I get 5% extra damage, right? I can stack those back to back pretty easily with this build. But unlike a lot of the other imitations that I've tried to make, whether it's a stronger shield, whether it's more damage, whether it's the bonus armor, it doesn't matter. What I'm always missing out on is the status effects, right? There is no getting around it, that being able to quickly take out one enemy and then apply a status effect to any enemy that's spawned in with them, right? That can provide more damage mitigation than bonus armor. I mean, that can provide more benefit than just having a really tanky shield. Because obviously if the enemy's disoriented and can't fight you, then you're not going to be taking damage. You're not going to need 100% skill repair. You're not going to need, just a crap ton of damage to take them out before you drop. And I mean, this just provides everything that you would need in a shield build into pretty much one convenient package that does everything that I want, that does everything that I need as a solo player. This is why it is so effective to just run through missions, why it is so effective to just farm with this build. It just works. And, there are a few things that, like I said, that I might consider changing or might look to improve. But I think overall, in terms of how I want it, how I like to play the game, what I consider as a priority for my shield builds, I think this build has pretty much reached, 95% efficiency. I mean, there's really no other way that I'm going to be able to change anything else on this build for the better. There might be some things that I can do to improve it. There might be a tiny bit of power that I can gain from maybe changing a few slots here and there. But by and large, there's really nothing that I'm going to be able to do in the current game that's going to make this feel dramatically better or dramatically improved. And that's fine, because it does everything that I need it to do for the content that I play it in. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.